Alright, let's talk about one of the most fascinating MBTI relationship dynamics, the intellectual NT men and the idealistic NF women. This pairing is basically a logic versus emotion showdown, a romantic debate club, and a psychology experiment all rolled into one. So, the big question: are NT men just too much for NF women? Are NTs out here being heartless robots? Are NFs too sensitive for the blunt, chaotic NT energy? Or is this a secret power couple dynamic no one talks about? Let's break it down. First, let's define our characters: the intellectual overlords, NTs, and the dreamy philosophers, NFs. ENTP, the chaos theorist, debates for fun, loves pushing boundaries, and thinks romantic gestures should be intellectually stimulating. ENTJ, the ruthless strategist, has life planned out, ambitious as hell, and would probably schedule date nights on a shared Google Calendar. INTP, the detached genius, spends more time in their mind than in reality, thinks about abstract theories more than emotions, and needs reminders that people have feelings. INTJ, the mastermind, calculating, future-oriented, and sees emotions as variables to manage rather than experiences to dive into. ENFP, the free spirit, deeply emotional but spontaneous, needs deep conversations but also chaos, will both love and challenge an NT. INFJ, the mysterious guide, emotionally deep, highly intuitive, and sometimes just knows things about people without explanation. NTs either find this fascinating or terrifying. INFP, the idealist, lives in an inner world of deep meaning, looking for a soulmate who understands their rich emotional life. NTs might seem emotionally distant. ENFJ, the charismatic mentor, a natural leader who feels everything, is socially intelligent and wants deep emotional connection. NTs might struggle to match this intensity. So what happens when you throw cold, hard logic and deep emotional intuition into a relationship? Alright, let's be real. NT men are a lot. NTs love a good debate. They argue for fun. NF women, they argue for understanding and connection. NT, let me play devil's advocate for a second. NF, can you just validate my feelings without questioning them? This dynamic can get exhausting for NFs who just want emotional support, not a philosophical dissection of their problems. NTs, here's the truth, whether you like it or not. NFs, can you say that in a way that doesn't feel like a knife to my soul? NT men, especially ENTPs and INTJs, have a habit of dropping truth bombs without sugarcoating. NFs process things emotionally first, logically second, so NTs can come across as cold or dismissive, even when they don't mean to be. Now, based on my personal experience, not every NF is the same when it comes to handling logic. INFJs and ENFJs, they actually can think logically. Even if they get emotional during discussions, they eventually use logic once they calm down. INFPs and ENFPs, whole different story. They're too damn delicate, extremely idealistic, and apathetic. They let their emotions take over way too often. With INFJs and ENFJs, I can have structured debates, even if they start out emotionally charged. With INFPs and ENFPs, I feel like I have to walk on eggshells, because the moment logic contradicts their emotions, it's like diffusing a bomb. Now, obviously, this is just my own experience, and I'm not saying every single INFP or ENFP out there is incapable of logic. But in my interactions, they tend to struggle with detaching from emotions long enough to actually engage in logical discussion. NTs, here's the truth, whether you like it or not. NFs. Can you say that in a way that doesn't feel like a knife to my soul? NT men, especially ENTPs and INTJs, have a habit of dropping truth bombs without sugarcoating. NFs process things emotionally first, logically second, so NTs can come across as cold or dismissive, even when they don't mean to be. NF women want to explore emotions deeply. NT men see emotions as data points that need solutions. NF, I'm feeling overwhelmed today. NT, okay, so logically, here's how to fix that. NF, I don't need a solution. I need you to just sit with me in the feelings. NT, confused buffering noises, processing. Error. 404, emotional response not found. So, after all that chaos, you'd think NTs and NFs are doomed, right? Wrong. Because despite their differences, this pairing has some serious potential. NTs push NFs out of their comfort zone, helping them see things rationally when emotions cloud their judgment. Example, an INFJ stuck in self-doubt. An INTJ will force them to take action. NFs force NTs to acknowledge emotions as real, valid experiences, not just inefficiencies to be optimized. An INFP can teach an INTP how to sit with emotions instead of treating them like a math problem. Unlike SJs, who prefer practical discussions, NTs and NFs love exploring big ideas. Philosophy, psychology, abstract theories, this is their love language. Now, if there's one NF group that actually complements someone like myself, who's an ENTP, well, it's the NFJs, INFJs and ENFJs. Since I lack the strong feeling side, I've noticed that these types help balance that out in a way that isn't overwhelming. INFJs and ENFJs are emotional, but they aren't emotionally fragile, like INFPs and ENFPs can be. They can engage in deep discussions and even get emotional, but they'll always return to logic once they've processed their feelings. That makes them way easier to debate and discuss ideas with, because even if emotions flare up, the conversation doesn't derail into pure emotional chaos. In my experience, INFPs and ENFPs struggle a lot more with separating emotions from logic, which makes discussions feel like navigating a minefield. With INFJs and ENFJs, there's actual productive back and forth. They bring emotional insight, and I bring logical clarity, and that dynamic works well. This is just my personal experience, of course, but if you're an NT who struggles with overly emotional people, INFJs and ENFJs might actually be your best bet in the NF category. So, what do you think? Are NT men too much for NF women? Or is this actually an underrated power couple pairing? Drop a comment if you've ever been in an NT-NF relationship, or if you've ever had to explain why your logical analysis wasn't an attack on someone's emotions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who's either been in this dynamic or is about to walk straight into it. Alright, stay curious, try not to start too many debates, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Oh, and if you made it this far, congrats. You've just survived an NT level breakdown of why emotions and logic can be both a disaster and a perfect match.